Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. Very unbalanced rack, only one vowel. Do I change? I think Zen is going to be better. 24 points is decent. And I'm denying my opponent the opportunity of doubling a play. And I don't think there's any other option. And my rack deteriorates. I may be able to play through a vowel. I do have NTH on my rack, which is a valid word. But changing may be preferable to that if I can't score enough. So opponent doesn't provide any floating vowels. There's nowhere good for NTH. I do have a Z for Zen. So is there anything to think about? Nothing goes in front of Zen. I don't have anything great beginning with Y, so I am going to change. And I'll keep N and T. Wow. Pretty non-bingo-y. I draw the Q and the X, but I do have a couple of vowels, including the all-important I to go with the Q. So I have chi and chin. Nowhere great for either on this board. Nothing goes in front of yeah. Only an S goes after Zen and EH. But while my rack is non-bingo-y, I'm happy for the board to remain tight. So if opponent just extends the ladder down towards the bottom left, that's fine by me. Yeah, that's more or less what's happened. So anywhere great for chi or chin. I do have chin in row K. That may be worth doing. 16 points. But can I do any better? Interesting, I could play Pinkset, which turns over a lot of tiles. 30 points, decent score. I'm setting up a hot Q spot, which may remain available. Pinkset doesn't take an S. One U's been played, so there are 3 available. If I draw a U, then this is a good rack to have. This is 15 more points than playing just QI or chin. Yeah, I am going with this. And I do draw a U. Fantastic. Plus the blank, plus a J. So I'm not out of the woods yet in terms of non-bingo-y racks. However, I'm pleased with this rack. So I have Qua to the left of Pinkset. What else is available? No S for Zens. Great, only 16 points for opponent. Nothing goes after Siri, so that's quite a blocky play. So what am I going to do here? Just looking in row K to see if I had anything. But that would need to begin Quan. And then I don't get it doubled unless I burn the blank. So, not easy. Well, interesting. Well, I could play Jane here. That's 28 points, which is decent. I'm providing nothing, so it's going to be on opponent to open the board, which is good. This is super tight play. I really like this. I don't think this can be improved. I'm preserving QU, which has positive value. I'm preserving the blank. I'm in danger of drawing only consonants. However, I've got 3 shots at drawing a vowel, and there is this floating I in Siri. I am going with this. Great, I draw vowels. Don't think I have a bingo, but I'm close to banquet, for example. Absquatulate through the right floaters, but that's not going to happen. Still an S eludes me. I could burn the blank and play souk. But surely there's going to be better options. Just 21 points for opponent. Well, that's good. Him only takes an S. But look at this. I have the tiles for chin and So surely this is the place to play. Nothing goes in front of HEH. So what do I have here? Well, I have quat. Is that the best I can do? I hesitate momentarily because BU is not a great rack leave. And quat takes an E and an S, and this is a vowel under a premium square. However, this is 33 points. I'm getting rid of the Q, and I could easily draw a bingo. And there are bingo lanes on this board, plenty of them. Now, my Q could also go above this I, but I don't think I have a 6-letter Q play. Can't see a way of getting rid of both U's. Took is good onto an E. No E's available. And Burka through an R. None of those available either. So is this the play? I think it has to be. QU has to be followed by a vowel. And I think that has to be an A. And I have nothing other than quats. Well, I draw the second blank. Only one vowel. Could there be a bingo here? Super low probability, I think, with B and C. One of the blanks has got to be a vowel. I have the sub prefix. Cab, Kent, Kint, Kont, not seeing anything there. I've got the un prefix, the IC ending. No floating vowels. So, how best to approach this? I think I'm just going to have a squiz with one of the blanks. No, it's Bucksiner. I don't think any of the floaters are going to be helpful. However, they may be. Incubate from an I or through an A. A has to be followed by S. Abducent through A or D. So E looks, the blank as an E looks pretty promising. What did have I just considered something with the blank as an E? Let me just go back. Well, I surely have incubate onto that E, and I do. Fantastic. So what else is there to consider? Well, a bingo in row C doesn't get doubled, so a play through the I would be better. That could end ING. Let's see what's left. Abducting is too long. Not seeing anything there. It could end IC. Could begin UN. No, and there are these 7-letter lanes which would get doubled. Row L, not row N. So let me go back to where I was and just finish this exercise. Possibly unbatch, but that doesn't play in the 7-letter lanes. Now, the vowels always look more promising. Nope, nothing coming to mind. Subjacent as a 9. Now, what about back nut? Is back nut good? No. But I do have buck, back, beck, bick, bock, buck. No, not seeing anything there. Fortunately, I do have a bingo in my back pocket, so that makes this task less painful. Okay, so incubate's what I've seen. Is there something through that? I will find out later. I spent long enough on this. The X and the Q have gone, so this I under the triple letter square less dangerous than it might otherwise be. So incubate for 62. And I do have a more balanced rack now, but it doesn't look like a bingo-y one. I lead by a bingo, but opponents on turn, which feels more like half a bingo's lead. And there are now plenty of bingo lanes on the board for 7-letter bingos. Rows B, D, L and N. And opponent has one. Wow. Okay, well, I think they were going to bingo regardless of where I played. And my lead now just 1 point. So, what can I do with this rack? There isn't a bingo here, so I'm looking to get value from the W and sort the rack out. So something like a now would do that, and I can do that here for 30 points. That's pretty decent. E now even better in terms of the rack leave. The J has gone, so this triple letter square, well, it's still hot for the K and the Fs. But sorting my rack out has priority. This totally does that. Can I do it better? I don't have anything through the C. Bearing in mind I certainly want to play off the W. And this is the best spot for the W. I am going with this. And I draw the V. Still one V and one W to come, so there may be more of this. And it certainly means it's a priority to get rid of it. I don't want 2 Vs on my rack. I would have renovate from an R. 3 Rs to come. Incubate takes a D, so column 14 is minorly hot. Overneat, I think maybe an anagram of renovate. No 7 here. What about the floating T? No, nothing there. What about this C in column 8? In column 8. Well, I have VAC in that spot. Not a great rack leave, double E-N-O-T, and not a great score either. Oh, wow, 41 points for opponents. But I don't think there's much I could have done about that. So, what am I going to do here? I trail by 10. Do I wreck the rack? I can do that with novate, but what am I playing for? 2 S's? And wrecking the rack only scores 20 points. What about, do I have a VUM play? Can't see anything beginning VA or VE, so no, I don't. Div is good. What about a play down here? I have veto, which is nice for 3 reasons. It scores well, 29 points. The rack leave is excellent, and it provides nothing for opponent. Plus, 4th reason, it diminishes the value of column 14 in terms of putting letters on the end of incubate. But I really like this rack leave with the available bingo lanes. I'm going with this. So this looks super close to a bingo. Is there one here? I feel that there isn't, otherwise it would have come to mind. Yeah, not seeing one. A thou has taken out T as a floater. So, and nothing, I've got ends in V. What about this T? I would need 2 E's. But look at this, look how close we are. Opponents on turn, so this is a super tight game. Remaining tiles pretty bingo-y. We've worked our way through most of the non-bingo-y stuff. All the V's and W's have been played. Column 8 is hot. There's still a K to come. That is so hot. I think I need to play there. Oh, wow. 54 points for opponent. However, I have anti-life. Wow. Unbelievable. Look at this. I have anti-life for 62. Bang! And I retake the lead by 27 points. Can I hang on? Pretty horrendous rack. Although as we approach the end game, vowels increase in value. And I've got scoring tiles in the P and the Y. But not a massively propitious board for either. Opponent's play only takes an S. Still 2 S's to come, and any play in row E is going to score handsomely. Wow, great play by opponent. Just looking back to my previous play, I was contemplating playing Vac. Just 17 for opponent. Wow, and the remaining tiles, super bingo-y. I have to do something about row E. But what? I'm looking in row D. I does take an O, but I don't have any great plays ending in O. I think Yoop is good, but nowhere for that. 9 minutes on my clock. I don't think I can ignore row E. Wow, Dearest takes an S as well. That's slightly more obscure, but I expect opponent would know it. They have a high rating. And row N is a good bingo lane, so I can't sacrifice a huge number of points to take out row E. What can I do with my P and my Y? I've got pay in row B, but I can't keep 3 O's on my rack with 2 to come. I could play Noop, but the score is dismal. I really want to keep scoring if I can. I'm not even sure if Yoop is a word. Let me count the remaining vowels. 9 out of 22. It's not vowel dry. This is just a horrible rack. What about playing Napu? Sorts the rack out, retains the Y for score. There's a hot Y spot to the right of the O, and I am destroying row E as a bingo lane. I am going with this. Okay, so a more balanced rack. I don't have an S. That could be critical. 2 to come. Rows N and column 14 are both hot. I lead by 24. I haven't drawn any more O's. So there is this hot Y spot, hotish Y spot. And this might be the last scoring tile I see. I don't think I have a bingo. I certainly don't have a 7. And very few floaters on the board. There's the O of Napu and the T of Dearest if one has an S. Slim pickings indeed. Now, where are the spots for my Y? And what's opponent done with BAM in terms of column 14? Bed takes an E. I've got one. Only one E to come. And opponent bingo 68. Is that going to be the end? Well, I have a Y for going underneath this N. Can I reach the triple word square? Oh, wow, can I? It would have to begin Y. It would have to be followed by O. I can't reach it. Wow. I thought I might come back with a 40-50 point play, but I can't. So, what do I have in the middle? Only an E can go underneath the R. 4 tiles in the bag, so I'd like to play off just 3. What about doing this? Go. 24 points. Opponent can't score well bottom right. I can. Or potentially can. I'm leaving 1 in the bag. This takes me to 336. Let me just see. Using the same tiles. This is 24. Well, that's 24. I think I minded to go with this. Just in case opponent had a play beginning F, vowel, vowel. I think this is the play. I'm going with this. So I don't get the last S. Opponent has had all 4 of them, but I had both blanks. And I don't have a bingo on this rack. And opponent's got the scoring tile. But do I have a row O play beginning Y-O? Your Y-O-R-E, I do. Wow. But I trail by 20. Opponent could easily take that out. What if they do? I don't have any floaters for incubate. I've still got my Y spot to the right of the O of Napu. So I am going to score 20, but given that I trail by 20, opponent's a massive favourite. I would have Ario style through S and T. Will my Y spot at the bottom remain available? And I think Your is my only play in that spot. Oh wow, nice play by opponent. They take out my Y spot and set up a super hot S spot for themselves. Very nicely done. I don't think I can do anything about that, and I trail by 40. Does opponent have an alternative out? They have frigs on their rack. Nothing through an O. They have frig, which isn't an out. So I surely need to block this. Ah, well, they have frigs and dearest. I can't play in row I. That will take out the dearest play, but not the Ales one. Very nice play by opponent, just 9 points. And that is super hard for me to deal with. Only an S goes after Ale, 4 minutes on my clock. So I think I need to play, well, let me consider what frig scores. 42 points. Is there definitely no bingo for me? Nothing down from the T. So this is the floating A. That doesn't look useful. There is a 7-letter lane but to the left of Napu, but I don't have one of those. So what if I do this? Then opponent has griefs. And OT not good. What about this? AE for 4 takes nothing. Does opponent have a play through the E? Followed by S. I don't think griefs has an anagram. I think this does the job. Opponent has fridges. Griefs does have an anagram. That's no good. What about Ari? Does opponent have a bingo through this Y? No. Am I going out with double ELO? No. I don't think I am. Wow, super nitty end to this game. So do I have anything beginning with E? Any word which doesn't take a hook? What about double E? That only takes an N, it doesn't take an S. Oh, well, opponent's still got fridges. ER does take an S. So I can't see a way of blocking opponents, so I might as well score as much as I can myself. One minute on my clock, so I have Oya for 30. Can I do any better than that? No, I don't think so. And if opponent doesn't go out, I certainly can. But they are going to. And very nicely played. And the final score, 366 to me, 413 for opponent. A winning margin of 47 points, so well done to opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. Super exciting finish. Could it have been any different? Now, this was my opening rack. Yeah, Zek scores more, but splitting up triplicate N down to double N is definitely worth the score difference of 8 points. Opponent plays yeah, and now I change. Very few candidate plays available, only 4, and changing is better than any of them. Missed bingo, 9-letter play, utilisers through ZE, very difficult to see. Opponent plays Lichu, and now I have Pinksit for 30, which I like. Opponent plays Siri, L7, Qua and QI. What do? I played Jane for 28, the second play down here. And I like that. Q with a U is worth having. And Jane provides nothing for opponent. Opponent plays him. And now I have Quat for 33. Wow, that looks close to a bingo. Opponent plays Deads. Bucatini. Wow, that is a nice play onto the I. Butching through the I. Subtonic through the I, and then we come down to incubate. I did spend a long time on this play. It's very hard to be sure you've considered all options when you've got 2 blanks. So I'm left 14 points on the table. Butanoic, that's nice. Yeah, okay, well, they didn't come to mind. And now opponent gets their bingo down, and there's just 1 point between us. So I play E now. Yeah, and then a new in the same spot. Interesting, I wonder if a new would have been better. Fewer tiles go in front of ER than OR. A horrible rack for opponent. However, I provided the perfect spot for a thou. And this is where I play veto, and I liked the play for the reasons stated. The rack leave in particular is good, but I was leaving alone column 8. Voting, wow, that's a wild play. Opening up column 1. So I play veto, and look at this horrible rack, except for the fact that there's a C in the perfect spot for this. And that gives opponents a lead, which they were able to hang on to, even with 24 tiles left in the bag. Oh, no, they weren't. I got my bingo down. Anti-life, I forgot about that. So that put me back in the lead and gave me a lead I was unable to hang on to the end. No vowels at all for opponents. But they play Bam. I've got all these vowels. Paya. Wow, keeping 3 O's. I don't like that. So I play Napu. Interesting, opponent had 7 vowels, so they were a long way from a bingo. But look at this, just playing off 2 consonants. Opponent had 7 consonants, they played off 2, and they picked 2 vowels, and it gave them a bingo, which would have played in row E, but Napu took that danger out. So I still like Napu, even though it looks like a score sacrifice. 3 O's is pretty horrible. And now opponent has just the solitary bingo, Dragons, in row N, for just 68 points. It would have scored a lot more in row E. And 4 tiles in the bag. So this is the pre-end game. Ooh, ouch. There is a Y play, Yoga. Gosh, how did I miss that? Ouch. 47 points, 359. Gosh, that is a bad miss. Okay, so I play Ego, preserving that spot. However, so if I played Yoga, what would have opponent done in the middle? Not terribly much. It would have been close, so ouch. And now opponent plays Ale, which was excellent. Nothing I can do to block that. So I play Oya, and opponent goes out with Frigs. So, well, that was a fantastic game. Very, very close until towards the end, and somehow out of nowhere I managed to construct a miss of Yoga, which could have affected the outcome of the game. So pretty painful stuff, and very little you can do about that in the sense of it being a learning opportunity, because it's not as if I need to go and study my 4-letter words. Yoga is just a very well-known word, and it's incomprehensible to me why it didn't come to mind in the moment, but it didn't. So you just need to accept it and also accept that it may have influenced the outcome of the game. But apart from that, an absolutely epic game, a lot of back and forth, and certainly delighted to get the bingo of anti-life down, which gave me a slender lead as we approached the end game. Anyway, many congratulations to opponent on their victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.